Hello, my name is Eric Penn, and thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my idea about proposing a brand new campus of Riverside Church. Before I get started, I want to share a little bit of background information about what Riverside Church is and how we got where we are. Back in 1975, Pastor John Bucco decided to found a new kind of church after he got kicked out of the Baptist church. After mentoring his son over 10 years, his son, Pastor Paul Bucco, took over and became senior pastor. Pastor Paul Bucco had a vision to do something that no other church in Three Rivers has done before. We wanted to move into the city where we could better be the hands and feet of Jesus. At that time, we were just a country church way out on 6th Avenue. We had about 300 people, but we wanted to do more for our community. And the opportunity of a lifetime came up. Three Rivers High School was building a brand new building, and the old high school was looking at being vacant. So we made the deal of a lifetime and offered to buy the old high school for $1. And you guessed it, we bought the old high school building for $1, and we sold our old church to the school district as an administrative building for $750,000. This amazing deal gave us the money that we needed to renovate the church, and since we have expanded and grown, and now we have renovated all the classrooms, renovated the auditorium, renovated the entire church, our mission at Riverside Church is really simple. It's to reach up, reach out, and reach around. The first part of our mission is to reach up. We want to help other people reach up to God in worship and through prayer and through understanding more about who God is. The second part of the mission is we want to reach out. We want to reach out into the community and be the hands and feet of Jesus and help them realize how amazing our God is. And the third part of our mission is to reach around. We want to be a community of believers who surround each other with prayer and love and have amazing lifelong family-like relationships. Aside from our mission at Riverside Church, we also have core values, 10 of them to be exact. I want to go ahead and read our core values to you so you can get a chance to hear kind of what we're all about. Our first core value is total commitment. The pursuit of total commitment to Jesus Christ and His cause is normal for every believer. The second is prayer and worship. Prayer and worship permeates everything that we do. The third one is excellence. Doing our best honors God and inspires people. The fourth core value is culturally relevant. Our church is culturally relevant without compromising God's word. The fifth is lost people. Lost people matter to God, therefore they matter to us. Six, children and youth. Children and youth are a primary emphasis of our church. Number 7, equipping the people. Church leaders are to serve and equip the people to do the work of ministry in their area of giftedness and passion. Number 8, outward focus. Our church is outward focused, serving the needs of our community and the world. Number 9, small groups. Life change happens best in small groups where people can be open and honest. And number 10, a united family. Our church is a united family that lives in love, authenticity, and service to one another. See, I love these core values because they represent what we want to do in another community. And as I was doing research about what community I thought would be best to do something like Riverside Church, I came across a community called Coldwater, Michigan. I'm sure you're probably wondering, why Coldwater, Michigan? See, as I was doing research about different cities around southwest Michigan, I came across a staggering statistic in Coldwater, Michigan. 68% of people in Coldwater, Michigan are completely unreligiously affiliated. So that means that 68% of the people in Coldwater, Michigan have nothing to do with church. Most of the churches in Coldwater, Michigan at this point are more of a traditional, conservative type church. While there's nothing wrong with that, and I see a huge value in that, our goal as a church is to reach people who are unchurched or de-churched. We want to come alongside people who feel disenfranchised by traditional church and help them find another way of coming to know how amazing our God is. Since I believe that Coldwater is an amazing place to plant a new campus of Riverside Church, I came up with 3 goals that I think would help us accomplish this goal. The first goal is to expand our church by planting a campus in Coldwater, Michigan. The second goal is to raise enough money to put together a mobile satellite church. What a mobile satellite church is, I know that sounds really techy, but what it is it's a church that actually grows with the people. So we invest in the equipment, the sound equipment, the lighting, the videos, the children's ministry equipment, and we set up every Sunday. And as the church grows, we can grow into larger venues as the church grows. So we might start out in a classroom, and then we'll go to maybe a library, and then we'll go to a local school. So as the church grows, we invested in the equipment instead of the building. The worst thing you want to do when planning a church is outgrow your building. And the third goal of ours is to reach 5% of the Coldwater community in 5 years. See, that sounds like a really ambitious goal, but with 10,000 people and 70% of them being completely unchurched, I don't think that is far-fetched to believe that we can go and be the hands and feet of Jesus and bring people to Jesus. Another reason that I believe that Coldwater, Michigan is the best place for us to plant a campus is because of the amount of family households in Coldwater, Michigan. Look at this graph. There are over 2,445 family households in Coldwater compared to only 1,648 family households in Three Rivers. That is a huge amount of families. And since Riverside Church places a huge emphasis on reaching families and their children, I believe that this is an amazing market for us to plant a campus. Another reason that I believe that Coldwater is a great place to plant a satellite campus of Riverside Church is look at this pie chart of age demographics in Coldwater, Michigan. Over half of the population is under the age of 34. And since our target market is an unchurched 18 to 44-year-old working class male who is married and raising children in the home, our market is huge in Coldwater, Michigan. Another reason that I believe that Coldwater is a great place to plant a Riverside Church campus is because of our values matching the critical needs of the community. One of the first critical needs of the community is a relationship with Jesus. And since 70% of the community don't have a relationship with Jesus, it is our goal to help people who are far from God get close to God. Another critical need is family development. Since most of the households in Coldwater, Michigan are family households, we want to help them grow as families. Another one is there's a poverty rate in Coldwater, Michigan. Most people make around $17,000 a year in Coldwater, Michigan. We want to help them in their career development and their financial planning. And the last thing that I believe is a staggering part of Coldwater, Michigan is the amount of addictions that they have in Coldwater, Michigan. We have a Celebrate Recovery ministry designed for helping people overcome hurts, habits, and hang-ups. In fact, I found this chart showing the primary substance abuse that happens in Coldwater, Michigan. Take a look at the screen and you'll see that the primary substance choice for persons in treatment in 2015 were alcohol, methamphetamine, and opiates. There are people struggling and absolutely need help with recovery. That's why I believe our church will thrive, because we have a heart for people who are far from God. So I'm sure you are wondering how we are going to reach this huge amount of people who don't know Jesus in Coldwater, Michigan. Well, I want to share our church launch strategy. The 5 steps that I have come up with are going to be key to us making this a successful church launch. The first step is selecting a campus pastor. This person needs to be passionate and driven with a heart for people and a vision for growth of the body of Christ. The second part is recruit a launch team. See, a launch team is going to be a team of individuals who are passionate about spreading the word of Jesus. And what they will do is they'll move into the community, get jobs like everyone else, and try to assimilate people into the local body that we are planning. The third step is start a campaign for the church launch. So what we'll do in this step is we'll raise money and funds to buy all the equipment we need for a portable church. That's sound, lighting, video, children's ministry, a truck to transport all this equipment each Sunday so we can set up. And the step 4 is start meeting in Coldwater, Michigan. We'll probably start out with small groups in homes and then grow to a local meeting room and then eventually start to meet corporately as the group gets larger. So when people show up to Riverside Church in Coldwater, what will they find? The first thing that they'll find is a modern environment where there are engaging, encouraging, powerful, impactful messages challenging them to live out the life that Christ has called them to live. Another thing that you'll find is a modern worship service. So there'll be a full band with songs that are relatable and culturally relevant. Also, you'll find a upbeat children's and youth ministry. we will have a primary emphasis on reaching young people and helping disciple them into everything that God's called them to be. Also, there will be a sense of community, a community of believers that surround each other and encourage each other and help each other and do life together. Another thing that you'll find is a Celebrate Recovery ministry. It'll be our goal to go into the prison in Coldwater, Michigan, and help people become fully devoted followers of Christ. So how will we get the word out? I came up with 4 things that we're going to focus on to try to evangelize and reach out to the community in Coldwater, Michigan. The first thing is word of mouth. Our first and primary emphasis will be on word of mouth. We'll be challenging people that are part of our group to invite friends, families, co-workers, people they met in the coffee shop. The second thing is social media. We will be a presence on social media in the community as much as we possibly can. Another thing is community outreach. We want to find needs of the community and find ways to serve the community in ways that they need help. And then the last thing is employment. We believe that by immersing ourselves into the community and working with the people and getting to know people, we'll be able to build relationships. And then through those relationships, we'll get to invite them to church or into our small groups and eventually introduce them to Jesus. I'm sure you're wondering, wow, that sounds like an amazing idea. But how are you going to pay for this kind of church? The estimated startup cost of a church like this is actually $213,000. That is a lot of money to buy lighting and sound and a truck to transport and all the different things that you're going to need for children's ministry and office supplies. It's going to be challenging to raise that money. So what I recommend is us doing a capital campaign, a fundraising campaign, both in the community of Coldwater and in our current mother church. The second thing that I'd recommend is that during the startup process, the church would give the lead pastor, the campus pastor who's going to be running this campus, $55,000 salary for the first 3 years. The third thing that I propose is that the mother church will also support the church by giving it $25,000 or 2.5% of the operating fund. And so I believe that if we do this, that'll give us a good start to raise that money for the startup cost. While what I just described is a great startup idea, it's important also to sustain. We want the church to last in the community. And so how are we going to pay for the continual operation of this church? Well, the national tithing average is 2.5% per giving person in the church. And so what you want to do is you want to take the community average income, which is roughly $17,000, and you want to multiply it by 2.5%, and then multiply that by the amount of people that are attending the church. So if we grow to our goal of 300 people within the first 3 years, we should definitely be able to meet the yearly operating budget of around $90,000. Not only do I think that planting in Coldwater, Michigan is a good idea, I think that it's absolutely crucial that we do. With 70% of the population unchurched or uncommitted to any kind of congregation, there is a huge need for a church like Riverside in Coldwater, Michigan. Not only do I think it's feasible, I think that when people see the lives that are changed, when people see families that are reunited, when they see addicts who are recovering, and they see that the hands and feet of Jesus really are real, and they are changing lives in the community of Coldwater, I don't think there'll be anything to stop this kind of church. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation.